Morning Blitz begins now.
It's just after 6 a.m. on Wednesday. We are halfway through the work week. It's hump day. People still do that?
Guess what day it is?
You look good in those glasses, Lewis.
My eyes have been burning me since yesterday. I think it's from staring at computer screens for too long.
Do you wear contacts normally?
No.
Okay. Are those reading glasses?
Yeah, for the most part.
So I'm pretty blurry right now. You're looking at me, I'm pretty blurry?
Not really, because it's a very mild prescription.
Okay.
So it's just
like what are you, 1.0?
Probably. It's just I've always had them since college, and it doesn't. Once in a while, it bothers me. It just Despite our many attempts to keep the fluorescent lights off, Rick goes that route every morning.
There we go.
I usually switch them over. They're on whatever they're on when I walk in. That's what it is.
So computer screens and fluorescent lights irritate me sometimes.
I like a 2.0. A 2.5. I will not turn down a 3.0.
Really?
With my reading glasses.
See, if I go too strong, then it's like too much. It's just way too much.
I was fine until I hit like a certain age, and then all of a sudden I could not read anymore. That was it.
Really?
It was like one day it changed.
Most people say it's 40. Once you hit 40,
I was fine.
That's when the tiny print gets blurry, and then you have to start.
Oh, see, I have the best eyesight in my family, which is odd because my mom and my grandmother, God rest her soul, had the like super thick glasses.
Yeah.
And my grandfather, he died when I was super young, but he was a glasses wearer. And my mom can't see at night at all. Like I used to be in the car with my mom, and she would drive like, "Mom, that's the entrance to your subdivision." Oh, I know. I always miss it the first couple of times. I have to come back. I'm like, then why the hell are you on the road?
Right?
Oh, gosh.
Jeez.
So, yeah, it's just, it is what it is. But my eyes are
snazzy. I like your choice there.
Well, thanks.
Did you go for the like $5.99 pair? Or are we going like more expensive reading glasses, $20, $30?
These just look more expensive than they actually are.
They look good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel like it makes me look studious.
It does. It makes you look very smart. I'm intimidated right now.
See, Rick? I'm smart today.
Oh, my gosh. You know who's not smart?
No.
Jeff Kern. Kelly, you talked about it last week about Fort Rapids Water Park?
Yeah, they're trying to put it into receivership. Like that, basically the city's trying to take it over because it's one of those situations like Eastland Mall where
it's a mess.
It's a mess. And the owner of the property, Fort Rapids and Eastland Mall, they're not bothering to pay their daily fines or clean up their mess.
Wait, it's not the same person, right?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Just the way you said it, I'm like, wait a minute.
No, sorry. I didn't mean to make it sound that way. They are two different owners,
Okay.
but they're both doing the same thing.
Well, Jeff Kern, who owns Fort Rapids, was supposed to be at a Franklin County Environmental Court hearing last week, and he just blew it off and didn't show up. So now there's an arrest warrant out for him.
Yeah,
wow.
I believe it.
You know how hard it would be to run a water park, though, in today's world?
Well, okay, maybe, but there were some gross stories when they were operating that water park and the hotel and the bug situation and the restaurant situation. And then when they shut the thing down, there was a gigantic water main break there. In the dead of winter, this thing you could see outside. It was like almost a frozen waterfall of water.
It was right out of Disney.
All down the elevator shafts. I mean, this place is absolutely trashed, and this guy has not done one thing to deal with it.
I would just be interested in the cost, because there used to be, when I was a little kid, there was a water park in Cincinnati called The Beach. And it was across from Kings Island.
I remember that.
Okay, well, the minute Kings Island decided to put their own water park in, that went to Beach. I mean, they tried and tried and tried.
Yeah.
They switched owners a couple of times. But I looked at that place, and I'm like, that had to be so hard to maintain because there was so much water flowing through there. There's so many pipes. I bet the winter was just hell because stuff's freezing and breaking all the time.
It's tough in Ohio.
I'm like, plus you got to keep the chlorine levels right. You got to keep everything clean. I would just imagine that the maintenance expense on a water park has got to be just astronomical.
No, Fort Rapids was an indoor water park, right?
Yeah.
Even worse.
Oh, you think? I was going to think maybe it made it a little better, but
yeah, because sun doesn't dry stuff up.
Right. I think it would be even worse.
Yeah.
I mean,
I bet that place just smelled
musty all
so
the
bad.
time.
Yeah. Probably mold everywhere.
Gross.
But Kern's being fined $2,000 a day, and that's after being ordered to pay $200,000, and his bail is $2.5 million.
Did they get him?
Not yet. I mean, well, there's a warrant for him. It just happened. The warrant just came
listen,
out, so.
Among the crimes that could be committed, like having a trashed old empty water park is not high on the list, but still, you can't do that. You can't flip the bird at the city
let
like
it sit
that.
there and rot.
Yeah. But they let you go for a while.
Yeah.
Let those fines rack up.
Well, there's a guy in our neighborhood that pays the fines. Like, his house has been, there. He just keeps paying the fine.
Wait, what? What kind of fines?
I guess there's something that the city has or whatever. And, some kind of, he's got some kind of fine where he won't let him tear it down. But so there's just
his house is dilapidated or something? Okay.
It's at the end of our street. It's on the opposite end of our street. It's just weird. And you can't see it from the road because there's kind of a curve that bends back. But yeah, he just keeps paying the fine. Which,
wow.
I mean, must have.
If you've got that kind of money, why don't you fix up your place?
I don't know, because even, let's say your boy wins the lottery tonight and picks up $300 million. I'm sorry, even if I have the money, I don't want to be fined $2,000 a day. At the end of the week, that's $10,000 a week. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's $52,000 a year? Come on, no. Or $50,000 a year? Hell no. Gerald says that he's got driving problems, too. After about 10 hours, he starts getting headaches. So
after 10 hours? Who's not getting headaches after 10 hours? Oh. No offense, Gerald. I get you. My back starts hurting after about 20 minutes. Sitting in a car on a drive, you've got that 12-hour drive ahead of you. I'm like, oh my gosh! Instantly my back starts killing me.
If you're driving today, you'll see some AM showers this morning, and then clouds kind of go away as the day goes on. 81 is the high today, so a little cooler than it has been. Morning Blitz trivia is
all right. So we all know Snoop Dogg is a correspondent for NBC at the Olympics. How much is he being paid per day? How much does Snoop Dogg get paid per day from NBC as a correspondent at the Olympics? Be the first one to text in the correct answer at 99700, and you got $25 to waterbeds and stuff.
System of a Down at 6:23 on your Morning Blitz with Kelly Quinn, Thick Rick. I'm Lewis, and we are looking for someone who knows how much Snoop Dogg makes per day at the Olympics. That is your Morning Blitz trivia question.
$500,000. $500,000 a day with added bonuses that he'll pick up. He's going to pocket $15 million by the end of the games. That's a pretty good couple of weeks' work.
I wish I could look like Snoop Dogg,
but he's really into it over there. He is. Him and Martha Stewart are inseparable.
Just for a day, knock him out, take his place, just to get some of that money.
But they're just, he's having so much fun, and he's doing really cool stuff, and you know why? He's been funny to watch.
He smokes weed every day.
I want to know why Team USA is so cheap.
We've always been cheap where it comes to the Olympics. This isn't a new thing.
No, I know, but why? I mean,
because we don't put the value on the Olympic athlete that other countries do. We just don't. And a lot of them, their full-time, high-paid job is to be an Olympic athlete. For us, not happening.
So for a gold medal, we pay $38,000, $23,000 for a silver, $15,000 for a bronze. Hong Kong, $768,000 for a gold.
Is that USD?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure it's not the yen?
Singapore, $745,000. Indonesia, $300,000. Now, granted, how many medals is Indonesia winning? And that may have something to do with it, the fact that we win so many medals.
Still.
Yeah, I'll offer you guys $70 million if you win a gold medal. How about that? If you can offer a ton of money,
right.
What's the
event? Do I get some training time? And is there a prize for a 25th place finish?
But France is winning a ton of medals, and they pay $87,000 for a gold. So that's more than double what we pay.
We don't put the value on the Olympic act. We never have. All those guys make their money off endorsements. Michael Phelps didn't get rich off the Olympics. Michael Phelps got rich off Subway.
Well, that's the thing. When it comes to the United States, the endorsement opportunities are crazy good here in the USA. And there's private funds too. There's one fund called Living the Dream that pays wrestlers. So if you win a gold medal as a U.S. wrestler, they will pay that wrestler $250,000.
But you don't, the problem you have though is the Olympic athlete is only really from the endorsement side of things, unless you are someone like Michael Phelps. And I keep using him as an example because he's set so many records and he's done so much. He's so well known. The rest of those guys might win a gold medal, but they're not high on the endorsement dollar. Are you telling me I could pay this Olympic guy that, took a silver in the pole vault, or I could pay Steph Curry? As a marketer, who am I paying? I'm paying Steph Curry because he's in the light more often. This guy is a pole vaulter. You may remember him once, but you're not going to talk about him again for another 4 years.
The one pole vaulter will still be talked about.
Well, he's got a future in the hub.
But yeah, Kelly, you talked about, you said you'll pay us $70,000 if we can win a gold medal.
She said $70 million.
I said million.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah,
All right.
And by the way, if it's the competition between you and I and $70 million's on the line, I will Tanya Harding your knee like no other.
Well, Julian Alfred, she won a medal, and it was the first ever medal for her country of St. Lucia. They gave her a couple $100,000, a piece of land, her own stamp, and named a stadium after her. So, yeah, I get it. We have so many. I mean, we're up to, 86 medals. 24 gold. So that's a lot of medals. That's a lot more money than a country that's only picking up 4 or 5 medals.
Sure.
Forbes says Simone Biles earns about $7 million in sponsorship deals.
That doesn't surprise me.
There's where your money's coming in.
And again, but she's of the upper echelon of Olympic athletes that are if you think about it, there's only a handful. You could probably say Mary Lou Retton at her time was super well known. Yeah. Phelps.
Katie Ledecky of this year. Yeah.
Michelle Kwan at a certain point in time had that moment. I mean, they're not as high profile as our professional sports are, so they're just never going to make that kind of coin, unfortunately.
All right, well, Phil Wills from Grove City was the first one to text in the correct answer. Phil? So he's got $25 to waterbeds and stuff.
It's the Morning Blitz.
And now it's time for I've Got Something.
Let's see if these dummies have anything worthwhile for us.
Thick Rick, you got something?
I do. Would you let a robot dentist work on your teeth?
Is it less expensive?
Is the robot going to talk to me?
I don't think so. There's an AI company called Perceptive, and they have pulled off the first fully automated dental procedure.
No.
It's just an arm, a robotic arm controlled by AI. It shaved down a guy's tooth for a crown.
No.
I know, it's creepy to think about.
No.
It works by 3D mapping the inside of your mouth, and then it drills and moves in circles to grind your tooth down. And they claim it offers enhanced precision and efficiency. That I can believe, because you're talking about precision compared to a human hand. There's no mistake. It's gonna map your mouth and then do everything based on exact measurements and everything.
Can the arm see when I wince because the Novocaine isn't working?
That was my next question, too. No. You said the word that already turned me off, AI.
Okay, well, think about this. Getting a crown normally requires 2 one-hour visits. They'll be able to do it this way, a full procedure in one trip in about 15 minutes. So 2 separate 1-hour trips with a real dentist or 15 minutes with this AI arm.
No.
Not quite ready for prime time. They say it's going to be about 5 years from FDA approval. But the plan is to eventually have them in dentist offices all over the country. They've raised $30 million in funding. One of the investors, Dr. Edward Zuckerberg, who is a dentist and the father of Mark Zuckerberg. So imagine that.
Right.
Mark's dad involved in AI in some way. I'm not surprised. But yeah, it's, I don't know. I think there's a lot of this in our future.
No.
AI kind of stuff. Well, what if you don't have a choice? What if this is how we do it now?
I mean, they already do robotic surgery.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, my wife had one done and it went great.
Are we not learning from anything with the AI thing? Stop. Stop.
You can't
stop with the effing AI.
You're not going to stop it. You can't stop it.
I was in the grocery
it's like
store.
every other technology. You might as well embrace it because it's coming.
I was in the grocery store yesterday, and no, this is not an Am I the A-hole. I literally, because there's only 2 people that monitor 42 self-checkout lanes, you got to stand there and wait when something doesn't go right.
Yeah.
Because we don't have real checkout lanes anymore.
Right.
And mine was stupid. It was so, you know what it was so? So she could come over and count the items in my bag.
Same happened to me Saturday. My coupon wouldn't work.
Yeah.
I scanned it and my light started blinking and I had to wait.
And then, God love her, she was helping an elderly lady check vegetables out of her cart. So again, because you're asking 85-year-old Ethel to be able to run the U-scan.
Right.
Like, it just stop. Stop with the GDAI. Like, put humans in place. Let them do their jobs. I want my dentist to be able to talk to me like Kelly said. My pain, how's your pain threshold? Sucks, doc. Hold on. Let's pause. Let's take care of that before we continue. Not, well, we'd love to pause, but the AI robot arm's already mapped out your mouth and can knock this out. Just endure that pain for another 8 minutes.
Well, I got something else about AI coming up that I think you'll be happy to hear. So,
all right, I got something.
What you got?
Thanks, science, for working to help those of us who cannot or will not give up our sugar habit. Scientists at Harvard have come up with a sugar-to-fiber enzyme that could be added to like a chocolate bar that would reduce how much sugar is absorbed into the bloodstream. Ooh. So it doesn't reduce the level of sugar. It's still the same delicious candy bar, but it can reduce how much sugar is absorbed into your bloodstream and even turn that sugar into fiber, which most of us don't have enough of anyway, and it's good for your gut. So Harvard is now working on bringing this enzyme product to market. The goal is to make it available to manufacturers within 2 years. But right now it's really expensive to produce. It costs about 100 times more than raw sugar to produce it. But there's also another company working on another thing, and it is a drink. It is called Munch Munch. And this, they've already launched this product. And basically you put like a teaspoon of this product into your drink. Say you're drinking a glass of water with dinner or a glass of wine, throw it in there. It doesn't have any taste. And then when it reaches your stomach, it has these little sponges that start to swell up in your stomach and absorb sugar.
This is a dream.
So it's wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I hope that is all legit and works.
So the thing is like these companies have tried to reduce the level of sugar and replace it with like, there was, Capri Sun tried to reduce their sugar and replace it with monk fruit. Nobody was buying it then because it sucked. Right. So they're putting sugar back in now. So this might be a way to be able to keep the sugar levels where they are and help us with our health.
That's great.
Yeah.
I can get on board with that. I got something.
All right.
I'll stay on the food train. You guys sushi people? Anybody?
No. I like the stuff with no raw fish in it. What's that?
California roll.
California roll.
Yeah.
I like that.
Same here. That's the only one I'll go for.
I love a good plate of sushi. Do you use wasabi? You guys hot? You guys like?
I might use a little tiny tad of it.
Drop.
Almost all of the wasabi that we eat in the U.S. is actually a mixture of horseradish, mustard, starch, and food coloring. So we're all eating fake wasabi because real wasabi is usually too expensive to import. Wasabi! So if you get that little green wasabi on the side of your sushi, most likely it's not real wasabi. It's just they're perpetrating that it's real. Wasabi!
Interesting.
Yeah. So the high cost of wasabi. Who knew?
Who knew?
Bad Wolves on your morning blitz. 649, Thick, Kelly and Lewis. Jason Meadows, thank you for asking. Jeep is good. No overheating issues. Think it was just a one-time fluke thing. Thank God. So,
got a new clamp on it.
Got a new clamp. The boy mechanic in the house thinks there might have been a clog and a little too much pressure buildup, but since the hose came off, I'm guessing the clog has blew itself out. So, haven't had any issues. So we'll chalk that up as a minor victory for now.
Think you'll be able to just hook AI up to that thing one day?
I'm not touching AI. I don't want anything to do with AI. I've watched The Terminator. I've seen how this ends. It's not good. Why we want to keep building Skynet is beyond me.
Well, that's a little bit different than the AI we currently have. Now, what it becomes in the future could be different, but right now, it's not that intelligent because all it does is copycat humans. All it knows is what humans have said and done.
Yeah, but we've made it so the kid living in his parents' basement, which he calls his fortress or his command center, now doesn't even need to date a real human. He can get a robot AI that talks to him in an automatic robot hand to take care of whatever else he needs taken care of.
Well,
that ain't living, my friend.
Kelly said it last week. Everything's always going to be used for sex if it can.
That ain't living.
Yeah, so it copies humans. It's not capable of generating any great new ideas. AI lies. There's a big problem with AI-generated falsehoods and errors. Experts are calling these AI hallucinations. Because everything it knows, it got from humans. And the hallucinations make it unreliable. It's proving incapable of doing most human jobs. So that's good news, right? Again, where we are going forward, I don't know. But AI use remains surprisingly limited. Only around 5% of businesses have used AI in the past several weeks. AI is not improving as fast as many people claim it is, and it might be running out of juice. AI models have already consumed the entire internet. So, I mean, what's left to feed the thing, because it knows everything on the internet. It's collected all of that data, and it still struggles. We know it's bad for the environment. We've talked about that, how much electricity it uses. It's just an ungodly amount of electricity, and, enough to power a small country just for the AI. It's overrated because humans are underrated. Experts say a lot of people in the industry don't recognize how versatile, talented, multifaceted human skills and capabilities are, and AI just simply cannot duplicate them. So does that make you feel any better?
Give it time; they'll find a way.
Well, that's what I said. I don't know what the future holds for it, but
who thought of that? I want to make it so we don't even have to think anymore. We'll let the computer do it for us.
People who are trying to make money. That's all. It's all money. I mean,
think about where you and I had this conversation yesterday. Think about where technology has brought this world. Okay, cool. We carry a camera, an answering machine, and 100 other things in our hand every day. But we've also created a way for trolls and morons to hide behind avatars and screensavers so they can say what they want without any consequence to it. And that's where we are. Now we want somebody so we don't even have to leave. We're on the verge of the Terminator or Ready Player One, and I'm not sure what's the best.
Well, I mean, again, there's a lot of things I like about technology.
Sure.
The good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I'm all for it if it helps me. I love a good Google Map search. Get me from point A to point B. I love it.
Sure.
My life is so much easier today than it was when I was printing out
Google Maps?
MapQuest.
Right.
Step by step.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's all bad, but I'm saying our continued dependence upon it is.
Yes, I agree with you on that. It is making people weaker.
Especially the younger generation. They can't do any. What are you going to do if your GPS tells you the wrong thing to do? Mom, what do? I can't figure it out. Because you don't have a map in your car anymore.
What's a map?
I would wonder, can a Gen Z kid follow street signs on the highway to get to where they want to go?
I don't know. I think there's some Gen Olders.
Didn't you see the red sign? No, I was messing with my Spotify. I never look at those.
I just wait for the girl in the thing to tell me to turn.
Siri tells me to turn left here.
You really have a chip on your shoulder about younger generations.
I think they're growing up stupid, common sense wise.
Do you think you're stupider than your parents?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
100%.
Is that the right way to say it, or more stupid?
Either way.
Stupider or more stupid?
my mother...
Just dumber.
My mother is very analytical and reads all the time. My mom is way smarter than I am.
So we're getting dumber as we go.
Yeah. I mean, again, we've made it so the younger generation has to work less and less and less to do things, to do common things. And we're continuing to make it that way.
I don't know. That's the goal for me. I love having air conditioning. Do I want to go back and live in where maybe they knew how to read a map back then, but they weren't air conditioned, and I cannot tolerate that.
I'm saying I like there are certain creature comforts that I appreciate, but I just feel like we're taking common sense out of the equation because we'll let some kind of app do that for us.
Mitchell said, I've prepared for the Terminator. I grew up watching and learning from John Connor. Bring it.
Actually, I know how to, I'm going to learn how to make nitroglycerin because that's probably going to be a handy tool coming up here in the future.
Now we're all in trouble.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
The northeastern portion of Ohio had some really bad storms yesterday. Wind gusts of 86 miles per hour recorded in Cleveland. Tons of rain, downed trees, and power outages. In fact, strong storms are grounding some flights at all 3 New York City area airports today, causing cascading delays across the country and around the world. As of early this morning, about 200 Wednesday flights had already been canceled at JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark airports. That's impacting way more flights than that as well, with connections and everything. All 3 airports experienced Mets extended ground stops yesterday as well. The Guardians and Diamondbacks will have to play a doubleheader today because yesterday's matchup was canceled due to weather. Tropical storm Debbie is on track to set new rainfall records in both Georgia and South Carolina after first roaring ashore on Monday in Florida's Big Bend region as a Category 1 hurricane. The storm's now blamed for at least 6 deaths and is still on the move, although at a very slow pace. As of last night, Debbie's center had moved offshore after lingering over the southeast, but it is forecast to gather more strength and then make another landfall early tomorrow over South Carolina. All right, here's the story I need your input on. All right, we ready? This went viral, several days ago. And now we're sort of hearing about it here in central Ohio. But up in Geauga County, Ohio, a woman who lives on the golf course there, Chardon Lakes Golf Course, says a man hit her dog with a golf club while trying to get his ball from her yard. This happened Sunday, and Chardon police say the Chardon Lakes Golf Course has helped investigators identify a suspect, and they've spoken to him, but they're not releasing his name yet. So let me tell you what happened. Jennifer Evans says Sunday morning, about 11:30, she heard her dog Milo yelping in the yard and ran out to find her dog with a bloody nose, and he would not open his eyes. She runs him to the emergency vet. His injuries he's going to recover. It's soft tissue damage. But her neighbor reportedly saw the whole thing. Apparently, this guy hit his golf ball. He was in a foursome, hit his golf ball into this woman's yard. There's an invisible fence, dogs friendly, all that, etc. But this guy hauled off and whacked this dog across the side of the face, left side of the face, grabbed his ball, went back and joined his foursome and kept golfing. Now, they know who he is. They've talked to him, but they're not saying who he is while prosecutors decide if they're going to press charges.
I'd like to meet him. Head out on the golf course, tee up like Tiger Woods, and let one rip right in the side of his head.
Right. Number one, you're trespassing. You're not allowed to go onto somebody's property and get your ball. You have to take the penalty on that one.
Is that the rule? Is that
yes,
how that works?
Absolutely. You are not allowed on somebody's private property to retrieve your ball.
If I had, if I would have seen that on my camera or whatever, I'd have walked my happy ass out on that golf club. I would have grabbed my favorite driver, maybe a good 9-iron, walked my ass out on that golf course, followed that guy, and I'd hit balls like I was at Main Event Sports, just driving balls into the wherever.
I'm so infuriated. I want to tackle that guy. I want to tackle him right now. It's 3 days later. And I just want somebody to film somebody beating the absolute hell out of this guy.
Also, I straight up would. Hi, I'm Lewis. Nice to meet you. I'm about to kick your teeth down your throat.
Well, the internet is super mad about it. I guess for good reason they're not releasing this guy's name. But can you imagine being married to this guy?
You must be so proud.
I mean, I'm just thinking maybe he's not married. I don't know how you score a wife with that kind of personality. But anyway, I was really ticked about it. There's a picture of this poor dog in its state right now.
What kind of dog was it?
It's this beautiful sort of medium to large size. It sort of looks like maybe a lab mix of some kind.
So it's not a Rottweiler, pit bull, or anything that could be perceived as a...
Even so, it's my dog on my property.
Sure.
You don't whack my dog across the face with a golf club.
I'm not making any excuse, but I'm just taking out the, you have a violent breed. We're taking that out of the equation.
I don't know. The poor dog's got... It's like his left side of his face is swollen. His nose was bleeding. It's not, I've got in the picture bleeding now, but he's got his eyes a little bit swollen shut, his left eye.
And the dog didn't even dog didn't even do anything.
It doesn't even matter. I tell you what, I just
want to know why
there's
he did
no
it.
excuse.
I want to know why.
Because he is a complete a-hole, and he needs to learn a lesson from some kind of mob justice.
Did the other three in the foursome see him do it?
They're saying they did not. They were questioned. They said, well, we don't know what happened.
Because it'd be fun.
The neighbor saw.
They should be able to join in.
Anyway, I don't know. No mob justice, guys. All I'm saying is this guy really needs to pay for his sins. All right? All right. Those are your 3 things.
5-Finger Death Punch on your morning blitz. It's Dick, Rick, Kelly, Quinn, and Lewis. 6% of people enjoy eating roadkill for whatever reason.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's 6% too much, in my opinion, but we'll get into why and more about this. Coming up, we also got Scheurger in later this hour. We're going to talk weed laws. So if you are a pot smoker, Fokker, you're going to want to pay attention to this a little bit later this morning. It's Pantera on the Morning Blitz with Thick Rick, Kelly Quinn. I'm Lewis. We'll see a little bit cooler today, only in the low 80s, but possible showers this morning, and those will kind of go away a little bit later today. So fine-looking August day, perhaps in store for us. Maybe a good day to grill up some roadkill, if you're so inclined to do so, like 6% of the population apparently are.
RFK Jr. would probably come over. You know?
Got me a possum on the car the other day.
Of course, he dumped that bear, in the park.
Yeah.
Because it stayed in his car all day.
Yeah, it was in his van all day long.
And he had to catch a flight.
It sounds like something you would do if you were in the backwoods of Arkansas or parts of Kentucky. Hey, Floyd, you want your squirrel blackened, or do you want me to
Hey, look, my grandparents on my father's side, Clover, Virginia.
Oh,
my grandfather was a tobacco farmer, and I'd go down there, and sometimes I wondered where the meat was coming from that we were eating. I wasn't always sure. I don't know if it was roadkill, but
hey, look,
I think a lot of it came right off the land.
I'm not going to lie. There are times where I have been to the Oriental Buffet, and I'm not sure if the chicken on a stick is actually chicken on a stick.
Yeah. Well, in light of RFK's story, YouGov did a poll and asked people if they ever dined on roadkill, and 6% of people said yes. And, this is a thing. I mean, like, Kelly, I know you hit a deer before. And there would be somebody who would, in a heartbeat, if they knew that, and you called them and said, "Hey, I just hit a deer. It's laying here on the road." They'd be there in a heartbeat.
No, I think there's there's a list that the county keeps, isn't there? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong at 99-700. Text me, but there's a list you get. If you are at the top of the list, they'll call you and say, "Deer just got hit out there on 310. You want it?"
Yeah. But I'll be damned if I'm ever going to just pull over when I see some carcass on the side of the road. That's disgusting.
Oh, that's a raccoon. They make a good wing with a raccoon.
Good wing? Is that what you said? A good wing?
What was the one movie where they went to like a Hooters type establishment? It was bat wings or whatever that they were frying up.
I don't know. 27% of people said they're fine with people collecting roadkill for personal use. I don't know why anybody would care.
See,
but 33% think it should be illegal.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, if you hunt a deer, you know where the wound is in the deer because you're the one that put the bullet into the deer, and it's easy to clean. If you're getting roadkill, how many different tires or whatever have rolled over that thing before you go out there to collect it? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I guess enjoy your salmonella, your E. coli, whatever you're getting off roadkill. That's a chance you're going to take if you really must. And I don't know what people's situations are where they're eating roadkill. Maybe it's a sad situation.
It could very well be.
I don't know. But I'm just saying it's not top of the grocery list for me.
I'm not in the 6% either. Especially considering what raccoons are considered trash pandas, like they'll eat whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't know that I want that kind of,
But deer, I mean, people love deer meat, and I guess if it's fresh and it's going to go to waste and you can collect it, then do it.
A good venison chili is amazing.
Oh, I love deer meat. I love to grill deer steak.
Get yourself on a list, man.
Yeah. Stephanie said, the deer that are hit by cars, she said to me, it would be such a waste to leave it at the very least, get it processed and give it to a homeless shelter because meat is meat. Deer meat is good, man. It's really good.
So. Buck said it was Anchorman 2 at Champ's Kitchen.
That's it.
They had bat wings.
Yeah, I mean, I will eat deer, but I don't know that I want it off the side of the road if it's been laying there for a while.
Casey said her dad's on the deer list.
All right. Yeah, we had another text say they did the same thing in Minnesota. The DNR actually takes care of the list, and they contact the people. They have a number you call if you hit a deer, and they'll come get it, and they'll start calling people.
Yeah, but I mean, some deer you see the whole carcass. Some deer you can see it's like split in pieces. So you have to collect all. We got 6 pieces out here for you to come get. Can you leave a couple of those behind? It's Metallica on the Morning Blitz, 7:39 with Vic, Rick, Kelly, Quinn, and Lewis. Congratulations going out to...
that would be Mike Benton from Springfield. Got those tickets to see Sublime with Rome next Friday.
There you go, Mike. Congratulations. All right. Once upon a time, he was an Olympic caliber pole vaulter, but his junk kept knocking the pole off the bar, so he went the legal route instead. Welcome in. Attorney at law Robert Scheurger joining us this morning.
Striving for that gold medal,
I get it, man. Sometimes the package just gets in the way. Happens to the best of us.
Now I know why I got thrown off the high school track team.
Did you know what he's talking about? Do you know why he said that?
No.
The guy at the Olympics, the pole vaulter?
No.
He went over the bar and massive package on this guy. Hit the bar and knocked it off. It's like the most viral meme from the Olympics. Or viral
that's probably
video.
the only thing that's going to be getting the Olympics some ratings.
It's working out for him, though, because the Hub has offered him some endorsement dollars.
Yeah, $250,000 to do an hour.
It's a big day here in the great state of Ohio because yesterday, recreational weed use came into play. But we've been talking about this, and a lot of people are out there. There are some laws that go around with the fact that just because you can smoke now legally in public, there are some laws that still have to be adhered to.
But you can't walk down the street.
Yeah, you can't. It's no public consumption.
Right, but you
like
don't have
alcohol.
to hide. You don't have to hide the fact that you smoke weed anymore.
No,
is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no one's going to kick the door down and
raid your house
and raid your house for the
I hope
stash.
not.
Rock the Funyuns.
My plants are like going on 5 feet tall in my backyard.
Yeah.
Did you ever believe you would see legalized weed?
No,
I didn't either.
No,
Never
particularly
thought
in
I
this
would
state.
see it.
It's funny. Years ago, a friend and I were going out one night up off like Sawmill Road area, and we received an address to a place to go, and it was we actually it was his buddy's place, so we just opened up the door and walked right in, and literally, I think we walked right in. Luckily, conceal and carry wasn't available at the time because either a drug deal was going down or there were a bunch of guys sitting around, and we walked in and we're in suits, right? Because we're coming from happy hour, coming up to hang out.
What circles are you traveling?
And we just open the door, we walk in laughing like, hey, and literally everybody like looks up.
The FBI's here.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
We look like, and we're like, no, we're wrong place. We backed out and closed the door. Now fast forward, if that would have happened today.
What would you have done if one of the guys, you're not taking me alive,
exactly.
Papa?
Well, we've been blown away. Two drunk guys after happy hour come walking in thinking that we're going to continue to have a good time. And I'm lucky to be here today.
Wow. You are. I think you really are.
That's why, I get leery on conceal and carry sometimes because that was an honest mistake. Oh, yeah. But no, speaking of that, Ohio definitely has some rules around the on recreational usage to try to make it a little bit harder for people to access.
Well, and I think driving-wise, too, those laws, the same laws apply where weed is concerned that booze is concerned.
Yeah.
And you still can't drive.
It's a DUI.
Yeah. And I think part of it is figuring out the technology that the cops can have that's an accurate test. For years, before they really figured out the breathalyzer technology, that was always an area that an attorney can fight when it came to a DUI, was putting that technology on the stand to making sure that it was legitimate. And early on in the days of the DUI, you could use that as a defense, but now as the technology has gotten much better
with the breathalyzer.
Yeah, with the breathalyzer, it's 100% accurate now, so that defense is no longer available. So I could see
the whole getting out, walking, with their finger on your nose or whatever.
Question about the breathalyzer. This came up during the Justin Timberlake debacle a little bit earlier this summer. There are some that say it's bad if you refuse to take the breathalyzer test on the spot, but there are others who say most attorneys will tell you whatever you do, don't take the breathalyzer. So what's the right way to go?
So each state's laws are different in terms of what the ramifications are for not taking the breathalyzer and taking it. In Ohio, if you don't take the breathalyzer, it's an automatic suspension of the license.
Okay.
So if you don't take it, there's going to be ramifications there, regardless. So Ohio has made the laws even stricter to make sure that you try to that you do take the test. But obviously, if you're drunk and you don't take it, then if you're drunk and you do take it, then the ramifications could be even worse.
Sure.
If you blow above the legal limit, but if you don't blow, then it's already inferred that you must be guilty. So therefore, you're going to get an automatic suspension, and then we'll discuss about anything else after that.
Well, if you haven't had a drink, why would you refuse?
Yeah, no, and that's why they created the law.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of like, look, you're sort of presuming guilt if you don't blow. So the problem is that, if you have 2 drinks,
right,
are you rolling the dice that you might blow and it blows over, then you're done because the test says you've done it.
Man.
Oh, yeah. So really, the law is geared towards trying to enforce people not to even take 1 drink and drive.
I know we're going to discuss speeding and driving coming up because we told Scheurger about the Ford thing, but there is a question about insurance, and I know you have an insurance thing that you wanted to talk about as well. This one says, my son got an insurance policy through a company on March 15th. He was involved in an accident on the 16th. He just received notice for an FRA suspension. Apparently, the bank returned payment on the 29th and said they canceled the coverage on the 15th. Can they go back in the past and cancel coverage because he, in good faith, believed that the coverage was there? Can anything be done? So basically, he got he paid for his insurance. Something happened where the payment didn't get through. They canceled it, but he had an accident on the 16th. So now they're saying even though he thought he had insurance, he really didn't.
Yeah. So in that case, he, in good faith, sent the check. The key there is was it a bounced check? Was it on the side of the insurance company, a process issue on why the check didn't go through? Those are the issues. Those are the nuances that they're gonna try to parse this argument on, because clearly he intended to make the payment. The payment should have went through, and therefore the insurance should have been good. Usually insurance policies have a 30-day grace period anyhow before they can cancel it. So normally you pay almost like a month in advance so that if something like that does happen, you still are good for another 30 days. So that's another thing to look into to see if that was the case with the insurance as well. But I do think he has a claim there that coverage should have been stayed. He should have had that coverage. But I would want to find out whether it was a bounced check, insufficient funds, or if it was something on the insurance company's side that they processed it incorrectly.
Okay. And speaking of insurance companies, you have a bit of an issue.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of, a lot of storms here in central Ohio, and, I'm a victim of an insurance company coming out to my house. We've had how many tornadoes, how many bad storms over the past few weeks? You guys were talking about roadkill, which kind of prompted my my thought on this. So, I said, hey, the roof, it took a beating over these few storms. I'm like, maybe it's time, I called the insurance adjuster out to take a look at this. I'm thinking I've got a good claim. The storms have happened, the tornadoes, the wind. I'm in an area where they've clearly happened over the past few months. And I turn around, the adjuster comes in, he takes a quick look. It wasn't a very deep look into the roof. I'm thinking, wow, it's that easy to make a claim on a roof that's going to come out for a few minutes and take a look. And then I get a letter back saying, hey, we took a look, and from our vantage point, what we saw were maybe 2 shingles were damaged, and we believe that any damage to the roof was caused by squirrels that were eating through the that have ate through the shingles that created the damage. So therefore, we're going to deny your claim. And I tell you, I went through the roof. I'm like, this is exactly
Warforyou.com.
This is the exact type of case. That again, going back to the reason why I got into law, this is the exact type of case where the big insurance company is coming in, bullying somebody, myself, in this case, and we're going to take them to task, we're going to take them to court, and we're going to say this is again bad faith on the insurance company. Now, I say that because I can only imagine how many people out there have gone through the same thing with their insurance company because there have been so many storms, and then they're going to make up any excuse possible to not pay out the premium.
Yeah, they're always, nobody wants to write that check. Sick Puppies on the Morning Blitz. Thick Kelly Lewis, joined by attorney at law Robert Scheurger. And if you are a victim of vengeful squirrels, we'll hit them right where it hurts, right in the nuts. warforyou.com.
You give credit to who wrote that.
Oh, it's Doug. Doug comes up with these all the time.
Oh, yeah, it's always Doug.
You should hire Doug for your warforyou.com.
Doug's got some good taglines, right? Have him give me a call.
Absolutely. He's your guy.
He heard you, believe me. He heard that.
Marginal fee. Kerry also said that he thought Ohio was the first state to get a DUI, and then he said, "Wait, never mind, I'm wrong." So I didn't know if that was true or not, but
Doug had one earlier. He said, "Pissed because lines at the weed dispensaries are too long? We've got you covered. warforyou.com."
So we talked about this thing the other day. Ford. Kelly's all about this. Kelly Quinn wants a job with Ford just so she can implement this technology.
I'm not about it in the current form. I need some tweaks in order for me to be all for it.
She needs that button.
But she was far more into this whole process than Rick or I were, for sure. What this does is, jump in, Kelly, if I'm wrong, Ford basically has the technology now where if you're driving next to someone who's speeding, that your car will now snap pictures of their car and send it with GPS location to law enforcement so law enforcement can come crack down on the speeder.
Yeah, you're like a roving rat out there.
Snitches get stitches.
Now, I'm not against that. I'm not against it, however, under certain parameters, because I do like to speed. I'm known to be a speeder, maybe 10 miles over. So
You might be the first victim of
as
this.
long as the thing doesn't turn around and bust me myself, like I want that radar pointed away from me. However, I don't care about speeding unless you're cutting me off or you're tailgating me. Those two things make me unreasonably angry. So then I would like some type of situation where I could hit a button and report them immediately to law enforcement. I'm all for that. And I will take that vehicle with that technology. And I would, like I said the other day, I'll take a shift on the freeway every day.
I was going to try the argument, son, you know why I pulled you over? No, officer, I don't. Well, because you were going 80. Well, then I'm writing you a ticket because you had to be going at least 90 to catch me. But do you think would you fight this?
Oh, yeah. Look, one of the other things is, what are the parameters of speeding? Are they going to, if somebody's 5 miles over, 1 mile over, 10? I mean, how does...
That's what I was wondering.
How does the technology dictate who's speeding? If somebody passes you on the highway, would that trigger it? This is the type of technology that becomes very subjective in terms of the evidence that would come to the table. How could the technology be so accurate that it can tell exactly how fast you were speeding? Also, the other thing is, in these situations, you have red light cameras throughout the country, but those red light cameras take an immediate picture of your license plate. If you run the red light, you know exactly what's happened at that point in time. On something like this, I think the technology could be very subjective, and I think there'd be a lot of holes in it in order to fight a ticket in court.
Isn't it a good defense for a red light camera? Like, well, who was driving that car?
Well, I mean, that is a defense, but like Steve and I were talking about, Luce and I were talking about before. At the end of the day, it's your responsibility. That car, that license plate is dictated back to you.
Right.
So even if your friend or somebody else was driving it, you're still going to be responsible for the ticket.
You can fight the camera, though. I fought the camera on one. Not the red light camera, but I fought, where they have those like mobile speeding that aren't necessarily affiliated with anything, but they're just mobile speeding. They send it to whatever the local police station.
Oh, yeah.
I fought one of those before and won.
Yeah. No, those are easier to fight.
Yeah.
The red light technology is so, boom, right at the moment. And it's tough to go against that, and usually more expensive to have to go to court and then try to fight it. But
I wonder if Ford would employ the Kelly Quinns of the world to.
Ford ambassadors, speeding ambassadors.
I mean, if they tweak it to my satisfaction, we can talk.
I got a feeling a lot of Ford cars might get run off the road if this technology gets employed. It'd be like Mad Max out there.
Jay texted in, so basically they're making cars Karens now, and then Steve says the all new Ford Narc stand.
Matt, the truck driver, said he had the same thing with his roof claim that he filed. They quoted him $4,000 on a $22,000 claim because of depreciation.
Yeah, no. I mean, those anybody out there who has any claims like that, this is a personal one for me since I've been through it. So
insane. Robert Scheurger, you can find him at warforyou.com. If you have any kind of legal issues, he's probably the guy to talk to. It's always good. I know for a fact that I have him on speed dial just in case.
He's the man.
You
He's
never know.
And it sounds like he'd be great to watch wrestling with.
I want to go. Yeah. When you go to court, can we go to court and watch you in court one day?
Oh yeah, no,
yes, I would love that.
It'd be great.
I want to see this guy in action.
I'll get a good case and I'll let you guys know.
Yeah. Seriously,
can we record? Will they let us record audio?
Can you
play on the show?
Audio, I think you could record as long as it's in the public hearing. Yeah.
Are you allowed refreshments in the courtroom? Because I want a big ass thing of popcorn. This is gonna get good.
Thanks so much, man.
No, I love coming in. Thanks, guys.
And now, all right, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
Well, business was brisk yesterday at dispensaries around the state as legal marijuana sales started. At NAR Reserve on East Long Street, owners say there was already a line when the shop opened yesterday at 10 a.m. In one Cleveland area dispensary, first in line was Republican State Representative Jamie Callender, a backer of legal weed.
I think, like when Prohibition ended, we're going to see a social acceptance that's going to happen, and we're going to see the stigma disappear fairly quickly here when folks realize that this isn't something to be afraid of any more so than alcohol or cigarettes or aspirin.
Nearly 100 stores started sales yesterday, with more to be licensed by the state in the coming weeks. Here's another happy customer named Joe Wolf.
I've been waiting for this for 50 years, to buy it legally. I mean, I've been buying it illegally forever. And so this is just thrilling.
He ain't getting busted for using weed.
I want that guy to come in and talk to us.
Joe Wolf?
Yes. Come in and tell us about your weed buying experience, Joe.
That guy is a God-fearing hippie, you can tell.
People smoking weed.
All right. The first deadly crash involving a Tesla Cybertruck is being reported. The wreck was Monday in suburban Houston on a highway east of the city. Texas state troopers say the driver sailed off the road, smashed into a concrete culvert, and then the Cybertruck burst into flames, trapping the driver. I don't know that you can blame Cybertruck for that. If you slam into a concrete culvert and your car goes up in flames, you're likely stuck in there, right?
Yeah.
That's not a Cybertruck issue, but they are...
Any truck.
They're looking into it. The NTSB has reached out to Tesla to get more information about the vehicle as they investigate this crash. Well, this may be the only thing that could make me tune into the Emmys. Eugene and Dan Levy are reportedly in talks to host the show September 15th. Of course, the father-son duo created Schitt's Creek, and each won a well-deserved Emmy for it, are in negotiations right now. No deal has been made yet, but I defy you to show me another father-son duo who are as enjoyable as those two. I think that would make a good Emmys presentation.
Yeah.
So those are your 3 things.
It's the Offspring on your Morning Blitz. 8:09 with Thick Rick, Kelly Quinn, and Lewis. The Blitzmas concert series has started. I know we're only in August, but you got to prepare for these things. You got to make sure you have Friday, December 6th, as a no-fly zone on your calendar so you don't let anything interrupt it. We have a pair of tickets to see Daughtry with Sleep Theory and Devour the Day. We're excited about this.
Great lineup.
Yeah, having spent some time this year with both Daughtry and Sleep Theory, we're good. It'll be a good show.
I love Devour the Day, too. Those guys are so much fun.
We need you to be a certain caller. Kelly, what number would you like this hour?
How about caller 29?
Caller 29. 800-821-9970. Caller 29. When you hear the song that started the grunge movement, Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. When that song plays between now and 9 o'clock, you want to be caller number 29 at 800-821-9970 for your chance to see Daughtry, Sleep Theory, and Devour the Day as part of the Blitzmas concert series. We are also going to discuss all black clothes. Rick found something interesting this morning where all black clothes being frowned upon in certain places. And, well, we're not having it. So we'll talk about that coming up. 3 Days Grace on your morning blitz. It's 8:20. I'm Lewis. He's Thick Rick. That's Kelly Quinn. On a hump day. 83 with some clouds kind of going away as the day goes on. Same thing with the rain, so a little cooler.
Man, it felt great this morning. It felt great yesterday evening.
I still felt like it was a little muggy this morning. I know it was 70 whatever, but I still felt a little mugginess in the air. A little thickness. When you tried to breathe in.
Yeah.
But
nice and much cooler and less muggy today.
Did you guys, I feel like I know the answer for one of you, but I don't the other. Were you a black clothes wearer when you were younger in high school, college age?
Like gothy?
Yeah, did you go all black? Not necessarily gothy, just all black.
I don't mind all black. It wasn't a style choice of mine, but
You were probably pretty colorful when you were growing up, weren't you?
Well, you had a uniform.
No, I'm not talking about the
didn't
school
you?
uniform because I had the same problem. I had the khaki, the Catholic uniform I get. But when you were out of the uniform, you were probably a colorful clothes dresser.
I mean, I guess so. Yeah, I do like color, but I don't hate black. In fact, I'm black focused every time we have a concert we're doing
Yes,
here. I'm like,
always.
where are my black clothes? I need some cool black clothes. So I do not hate a fully black outfit. I think it looks neat.
Okay. Thick, were you, despite your breakdancing wear, were you a...
Yeah, outside of the breakdancing wear, I wore a lot of black.
Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't goth. I didn't paint my fingernails or anything, but...
Okay.
You know? But yeah. I guess they're associating black clothing with mental health issues now? Like, where did that come from? Why would you do that?
I don't know, because I've always said whenever there's some form of malicious shooting that happens, they get into that, well, how can you see it coming? And I've always said you can't profile every kid who wears black and is mad at their parents. Like, that's not fair.
Right.
Like, that's not, you know what I mean? One doesn't equal the other.
Right.
Especially these days. But apparently black clothes now the issue.
Yeah, middle school in Texas has banned all black clothing at the school. They say it is associated with depression and mental health issues. And I'm like, you say? I mean, is that like a professional study has been done? Who determined that black clothing is associated with depression and mental illness? I don't understand that. But this is Norma De La Rosa, president of the El Paso Teachers Association, explaining the new dress code.
They can wear black shorts to go to PE. They can wear it on free dress day, but they just cannot wear it top to bottom. Now, the colors are not so much to prevent or stop mental health issues. You can have the most colorful dress on and still be suffering through depression. Parents that, are upset, they just need to make sure that they go through and read the dress code policy.
I didn't get an answer to my question.
No. And again, also, black is slimming.
Yes, it is.
I think a better way to go about that is just to say we're changing the dress code. And you don't have to say why. It's your dress code. You can just say you can wear black separate, but you cannot have a fully black outfit. It's just our new dress code, period. Because trying to, imply that an all black outfit means that you have a mental health issue is a weird move.
Right?
Now, I know you're a middle school, and this is where complex issues come out with children, and you're probably really trying hard to be, you're probably trying really hard to set up a great support system for the students. And it is a complex thing. I don't know that a dress code touches the issue at all, but you can get the same result without having to make some kind of weird claim that an all black outfit means somebody has a mental health issue. That's a bizarre claim. Can you support that with
That's what I mean.
any
I don't
type
feel like,
of research? Or
I mean,
right.
I don't feel like you can profile everybody who just wears all black. Steve said he's a black clothes wearer, used to be and still is. Roger currently wearing black shirt, black shorts, and black shoes with a black hat.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll stay away from all black when it's 92 out.
Well, yeah, it's a little warm.
you can just say for the kids, I feel like, look, you can have, these are the color pants allowable and these are the color tops allowable, and just don't.
Chelsea said, okay, so kids can't express themselves by wearing their favorite color. Weird. But here's the thing.
Well, that's the thing. I grew up with uniforms. I wasn't allowed to express myself either. I mean, it's just a school policy. When you're out off school grounds, wear whatever the heck you want. But I don't hate a dress code. I enjoy a dress code. I like the parameters to be set for me on what I can wear.
I have seen the kids on YouTube I wear all black and I'm expressing my individuality. Now, dude, let me break it down for you. You're not the first person your age to wear all black, okay? People have been shopping at Hot Topic for more than 15 years now. You're not the first. You're not going to be the last, so stop with that. But, again, I don't think that means you're necessarily clinically depressed because you're sporting the dark from head to toe.
Carolyn Shingler said, sounds to me like another excuse for these schools not to do their job.
I think they're trying to do their job. I really do. I think that's probably a difficult situation, middle school especially, to figure out how to best protect the kids that are in your care for 7 hours a day. This might be a real misfire, but it's, they're trying, I think.
Trinity said, it seems like the Texas school is banning the discussion around mental health. I'm a teacher. I grew up wearing a lot of black and dark colors. I still do. And I swear I see it every day in my career, and my kids will tell you that I'm the most outgoing, weird teacher. Yeah, I think,
you're in middle school. You are trying to figure yourself out. You're trying to get a style. You're trying to fit in with kids. You're struggling with maybe issues at home and whatever else is coming up, socially. It's a difficult period of time.
Well,
to say that somebody who decides, hey, I think this looks cool, my all black outfit, to say, well, obviously, we need to worry about you now and your mental health is a little weird. It's not, it doesn't sound like it's backed by any type of science.
No, but I know like in the Catholic school, with the Catholic school uniform, you did eliminate a lot of having to wear that designer brand because everybody was in khakis and a polo, blue, khaki, whatever. But where the individuality came into play was with shoes because you were always allowed to wear whatever shoes you wanted to wear. So you could kind of like express who you were with, and there were some kids that were wearing the Doc Martens, some kids were wearing the Jordans or whatever. Like you kind of expressed it through that. And kept it, on that level.
Stephanie said, so let's take away the one thing angry teens look forward to having control over.
Right. Derek, it's not black. It's really deep purple.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't know, man. If you have... The problem is...
Throwing a pink shirt on a depressed gal is not going to make her any less depressed.
Exactly. And you talked about, Kelly, like you had the uniform, so you didn't have a choice. You wore the uniform, but everybody did, right?
Everybody did, and so we figured out a different way to express ourselves. Right. You shorten the skirt as short as you possibly can. You wear different kinds of, blouses within the dress code. Everybody figured out a way to express themselves.
Right. You were either wearing a blue, a white shirt, or a blue or tan khaki or khaki-colored khakis. Like, that was just the standard.
Right, but you had a set uniform, whereas this is not. They're not telling everybody to wear this. They're just banning this color, and I don't agree with it.
No, it's silly. It's a silly attempt at tackling an extremely intricate problem.
Yeah, and it's going to do nothing.
And Jen sums it up with, I wear bright neon colors sometimes, but I still struggle with mental health. No one will know by looking at me. All black has nothing to do with anything other than style, which I tend to agree with. Especially now, people hide their mental health very well. It doesn't matter if you have a black shirt on or a, bright red shirt. It is what it is.
I don't know, man.
Neither do I. 8:39 on your morning blitz. Dick, Rick, Kelly, Quinn, Lewis, and that what smells like Teen Spirit by Nirvana, which was what you were listening for a shot at a pair of tickets to see Daughtry with Sleep Theory and Devour the Day. Kemba live on Friday, December 6th, part of the Blitzmas concert series. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at AXS.com. But congratulations going out to
Tom Clark, not to be confused with his brother Tim, who was caller 26. Then Tom was caller 29.
Hey.
Wonder if he'll take Tim.
Pays to be tenacious. Congratulations. You have your tickets. We got another pair for you to give away, or for you to try to win tomorrow. And good morning to Dave Greenberg, but let's get into some couples therapy. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. Brought to you by Tri-State Men's Health. If you're feeling a little sluggish, a little tired, not performing the way you want to, maybe it's erectile dysfunction, maybe it's low testosterone, don't wait. Get it checked. Don't worry about commercials you see on TV and waste money on things that don't work. Give Tri-State Men's Health a call at 800-900-9654. Check them out at TriStateMen'sHealth.com. Or better yet, set up a consultation. They have 6 locations, 2 in Columbus, Hilliard, and Westerville. I'm telling you, I got my T checked. Game changer for me. Don't waste any more time, because time is the one thing you can't get back, especially when it comes to relationships. And this one is an interesting one. Thick, you're the one that can comment on this one a little better, because you might have been through this. But Liz in Groveport wants to know if she's the a-hole for wanting her husband to get snipped. Her husband is 33. She's 31. They have 4 kids. She almost had a stroke during the birth of our last baby a year ago. He has even said that he doesn't want any more kids at all. I asked him to get a vasectomy while I was pregnant, so after we wouldn't have to worry about having any more, but he never got around to it. Now, since having the last baby, she has a hysterectomy scheduled, and the doctor, she hasn't said anything. She joked that the doctor put the number for vasectomy after on my visit papers, but I would be lying if I said him just blowing me off wasn't pissing me off. All he said is he's afraid it's going to hurt, but at the same time expects me to go in and get all this stuff taken care of on my side. I feel like an a-hole for wanting him to do it, but at the same time, obviously, I'm not good with our current birth control methods because I have a lot of problems, so I want him to get this taken care of. So, is she the a-hole? That's the question. She also said that she threw us some background info for us, said her hysterectomy is medically needed. It's not for birth control. She has a few issues, but the big one is endometriosis. I don't know if I'm saying that right, and I'm probably not. So
endometriosis?
No, ADENOMYSO or OSIS. Okay, so that's what she has. So yeah. So should he have to get snipped?
Okay, so let me get this straight. She had a stroke during the birth of her last baby.
Yes, they have 3 kids, 4 kids, 3 together.
She needs a medically necessary hysterectomy that she has scheduled for next summer.
Correct.
She cannot do pills, patches, shots because of her blood pressure.
Correct.
She, the little notes here, has gotten an IUD put in and taken out 3 different times. Her husband said he would get snipped, but now he won't do it. So what I'm seeing is that we have a year period of time here that you need to take care of with birth control until you have your hysterectomy, then you recover from that, then you can't get pregnant anymore. So we've got a year period of time here that needs covered with some type of birth control method.
Right.
If you have done all of that and your husband is not willing to get a vasectomy, then it's simple. Just sit down and say, how do you suggest that we handle sex this next year? Because I've done everything I can. And you've said that you would get a vasectomy, and it doesn't sound like you want to. You're not making any moves toward it. What is your solution here?
Yeah, I mean, really, if it's just on him, dude, you got to wrap it.
Matt said his body, his choice.
She said no doing a condom because their last kid was conceived via broken condom.
Well, if it's on him, dude, I mean, you either get the vasectomy or you don't have sex till she recovers from the surgery next summer. I mean,
that's right. That's the only other solution here. But you have to ask him to speak that out of his mouth because he obviously is not seeing that you have taken 100% of the weight of birth control up to this point, up to and including an upcoming hysterectomy, which will provide birth control for you, even though it's medically necessary.
Now, here's the thing about the vasectomy. She's going to have surgery next summer. So, like, if he schedules this, goes in, gets his consultation, and then goes and has the vasectomy, you're still going to have to wait 6 months before you can go unprotected. Okay? You have to, after, like 5 or 6 months, the doctor will tell you have to send in a sample, and they will test it to make sure at that point that you cannot get your wife pregnant. So, you're not going to be able to do anything for the next 6 months anyway. You know what I mean?
And that's
no matter what.
After surgery.
Right.
So
you're going to,
if you can get in today.
It's such a weird thing with the time frame of this whole thing. What I will tell, I don't know if he's listening or not, if his only concern is that it's going to hurt, dude, put away your concern and go get the vasectomy. It is so quick and easy now, and the procedure itself, you don't feel a thing. There is no pain, none. And they're going to tell you to take it easy for a weekend. If you try to get a vasectomy and then go for a long run the next day, then you're going to hurt. And that's, you don't do that. You go home, you sit down, you got a bag of frozen peas, And it's 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off. Lewis is laughing, man. Dude, there's nothing to it. I did it. It was a piece of cake. I understand. I know, but it's a surgery. There's a recovery process to it, but it's for a weekend. All right. Do it. You go in, you do it during a football weekend, and you sit on your ass and watch football all weekend, and keep your junk frozen peed out, and
honey, instead of the peas, hand me that bag of mixed vegetables.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's fun, and that's what you will, because you gotta put them back in to freeze them again. They will thaw out after a little while. But there's nothing to it. I mean, it was the most simple procedure I've ever had done in my life, and the recovery was nothing. And, I mean, I barely felt anything during the recovery. I mean, the first day, there's a little discomfort. It's just a little soreness, but nothing that ibuprofen won't fix. Now, I know there have been cases here and there where they had some sort of issue afterwards that they had to tend to, but most of them, there's nothing to it. So if his only issue is that he's afraid it's going to hurt, he doesn't need to worry about that. And once you're done and it's all over with, life is great. Believe me.
We're getting a ton of texts on this, so we will come back and see what Blitz Nation has to say. Every time you leave, I prevail on the Morning Blitz, 8:50 with Thick, Kelly, and Lewis. Couples Therapy, brought to you by Tri-State Men's Health. We're talking about Liz in Groveport, who wants her husband to get a vasectomy because she's got some medical issues. They've got 4 kids, 3 between the 2 of them and 1 other, and that she's tried every other method of birth control. We're getting some insane amount of texts on this one. A lot of people saying man up.
Yeah.
And get it done.
Yeah. Hiram said the vasectomy is much easier than having the female do it.
I mean, is there a possibility if you really... Now, listen, I do not respect a man who will not get a vasectomy when your wife has done everything, even had a stroke, and you're demanding or thinking that she's in some way still responsible for birth control here. You have got a problem, man. And I'm trying to just control my temper here because it's really infuriating me. But I will say that if you're that insistent on not having a vasectomy, it's 1 year, man. So just figure out another way. You don't have to have baby making sex the whole year. You can do other things.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
Do that for 12 months, man. And then you can go back to your normal life. If you're that afraid to step up and get a vasectomy.
Well, and you're telling your wife, you're looking at this woman who has given birth 4 times, and you're telling her that you're worried that it's going to hurt to get an vasectomy. I mean, seriously, dude.
Chris is saying the pullout game is weak.
That is a dangerous form of birth control.
There's a lot of people that are saying that they've recovered from vasectomy sooner, but I know both of you have been saying it's 6 weeks or 6 months, excuse me.
Until you can't get someone pregnant.
Right.
Yeah.
Until you're sure that you can't.
Jared said he had one in 2015, and the doctor never told him that he had to wait 6 months.
Well, here's the thing with the vasectomy, and this is what my doctor said to me. Now, after you have the vasectomy, over that 6 months or however long it takes before you test that you're good to go, the more you use it, the quicker that process will be. Because he said you have to imagine it's like a garden hose. Just because you shut off the faucet, that doesn't mean all the water's out of the hose. There's still water in the hose. So you've got to get all that water out of the hose.
Now, this upsets me, okay? Andrea texted in, my husband would not get a vasectomy, so I got a hysterectomy. This was last year, and physically it's been the worst year of my life. So many problems have occurred. It's way easier for the man to be sterilized.
Here's my question, and I wonder, because as the one with the least amount of morals in the room, I wonder if he won't do it because perhaps he expects that at some point in time he's going to meet someone else and he may want to conceive a child with them.
Well, like I said, if you're that determined to not step up, you're that determined to be a dick about this, then just do other things rather than baby making sex.
The term is Richard.
Charles said, I had a vasectomy done last year and I preferred to use frozen blueberries because it gave me a nice snack as they thawed out. Of course, my 5-year-old called them my ballberries.
Steve said a vasectomy isn't even 100%. Ask former NFL cornerback Antonio Cromartie.
Oh my gosh, he has 11 kids, but there is a chance it won't take. That's why you don't do anything until you get the test. And then if it doesn't, then you go back and see the doctor and said, hey, it didn't take. And I believe they will try to remedy that.
Bill said, my wife came home and said, my body, my choice. I went and got a vasectomy. Now we're getting divorced. At least I know I'm done having kids.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, as long as you're sure you don't ever want to have another child,
Yeah.
But I mean, if your wife obviously is not going to have more children eventually,
if it were me, I don't know that I would want to see my wife in that kind of pain and discomfort all the time. I don't think that I could. I don't think that I could willingly, if I was confident that I was going to be with her for the duration. I don't think I would want to see her be uncomfortable and miserable for a year for my happiness.
No.
Besides, aren't both of you being together supposed to bring each other down miserably collectively, not just one doing it?
I'm telling you right now, I would tell any guy out there who, if you guys are done having children, get a vasectomy. I'm serious, man. It will be the greatest decision you ever made in your life. And it will not change one bit the pleasure. Nothing. No change at all.
Liz, I hope we helped you in some capacity.
Somebody texted in and said he's a kitty cat just trying to be clean here. So you know what that meant, and I think most people are going to agree with that.
There you go. Yeah, I can't defend the guy. On this one.
Man up, dude. Just go do it.
And now, all right, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
Cedar Point has announced the closing of the best ride in the park, daggone it. Snake River Falls. This old water ride opened in 1993. They're closing it down for good on September 2nd of this year. Now, hot tip, okay? You do get wet on Snake River Falls, and it's glorious. Yes. It's really fun. I made the mistake one year of that being my first ride, and my socks were wet. I don't know. Do people wear socks still? But I wore socks at the time, and they were soaked. Yep. My tennis shoes and my socks were soaked the rest of the day. Could not get them dry. It was miserable. So don't ever do that first thing out the gate, all right? Do that later in the day, all right? But anyway, Snake River Falls was so fun. You'd get wet on the ride. You would get wet as what do you call when you're just watching something? When you're an observer.
Yeah.
An observer of the ride. Yeah. You're in line. You get wet in line. Yeah. It's just really fun.
Yeah, you could just go stand. If you didn't even want to get on the ride, you could go stand on the bridge and get drenched.
Get drenched.
That was the thing. It's 4:00 on a 90-degree day. You're sweating. Oh, it's time for Snake River Falls.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Drama in the world of Olympic gymnastics. First, the Prime Minister of Romania says he is snubbing the closing ceremonies after a score revision left Romanian gymnast Ana Barbasou off the podium, replaced by Team USA's Jordan Chiles. After the floor exercise competition on Monday, Ana was set to receive the bronze, but Jordan Chiles' coach challenged the scoring, and the judges did revise Chiles' score. She ended up on the podium. So obviously the Prime Minister of Romania is really upset by this. He says, forget it, snubbing the closing ceremonies, not interested anymore. Gymnastics great Nadia Comaneci was furious about the scoring change. Yeah, she posted on X, I cannot believe we play with athletes' mental health and emotions like this. Let's protect them. She was really upset. I guess Jordan Chiles' coach said, hey, I think that you made a mistake with the difficulty component of Jordan's score. And indeed they had.
Yeah.
And it raised her score to bronze medal level.
I understand the girl being upset, I understand why she got excited when the scores come out, but it's kind of like instant replay in football. You want to get the call right.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, to make that challenge, if you lose the challenge, you have to pay a fee, like $300.
Huh.
Like it costs $300 to make the challenge, but if you're right and they uphold your challenge, then you don't have to pay the fee.
They don't give you $300?
No, you just don't have to pay the $300.
Okay, all right. Another, piece of dramatic news from the world of Olympics gymnastics. Former Olympic gymnast Michaela Skinner. She was in, I think, the last Summer Olympics,
2020.
yeah.
Or
So
21.
the gals, some of the gals on this team, Team USA gymnastics team, the current one, she was teammates with.
Yes.
But she has sort of been mouthing off even before the games started. She posted a video on social media where she claimed that outside of Simone Biles, the Olympics gymnastics team did not have the talent or depth that past teams have had. So people have been mad at her for this for weeks. This isn't just a current thing. This has been going on to a point where she deleted the video. That's how bad it got for her in terms of the comments. She tried to apologize. She tried to say, I didn't use the right words when I was trying to explain what I meant, and that meant she was questioning young kids coming up through the Olympics program, or through whatever you do to get to the Olympics. She was saying there that she didn't see the talent or depth. Still, like, a weird thing to say. Yeah, you don't need to say that. But anyway, after Team USA won gold in gymnastics, Simone Biles posted a victory photo with the caption, "Lack of talent, lazy Olympic champions."
Oh, man.
So now Michaela Skinner says she's been getting death threats since that picture and caption was posted. She says her husband, even her manager have been threatened online. And in a new video posted yesterday, Michaela made a direct plea to Simone Biles.
To Simone, I am asking you directly and publicly to please put a stop to this. Please ask your followers to stop.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like you should not be bullying people on the internet. You shouldn't be going and making death threats against a human being that you do not. What are you doing? Right. What are you doing if that's what you're doing online?
And they did
threatening people.
Her kid too.
Yeah, that was early. That was the first time through.
This is what they do, though, because you're behind a keyboard and no one knows who you are. And you feel like Twitter and every other form of social media is your excuse to fly off the mouth and say whatever you want about whoever you want.
The thing I don't like about this and the way she has handled it is that this is not Simone Biles' fault. So for you to come online and act like it is her fault because she posted that caption, you're the one who said it, Michaela. You said that. That was a really out of line thing to say about Team USA gymnastics. You said it. Now, you tried to take responsibility, but then, you sort of got called out again in a caption when they won gold, sort of proved your point wrong. You kind of have to eat the criticism at this point. It is your fault. Now, like I said, a death threat is ridiculous. As a human being, you should get in trouble for that if they can figure out who you are. You should get in trouble for making death threats. That's stupid and silly. But this is not Simone Biles' fault. And to sort of come out and say, Simone, tell all your rabid followers to stop bullying me. I mean,
yeah,
okay.
But I mean, I think you have to because these morons think that because they follow someone on social media that they're friends and they're close to them, and you're picking on my friend. Hi, they don't know your name.
Yeah, I suppose I can see it. I just don't like her. I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me.
I agree with you. It's not Simone's fault, and I don't think Michaela thinks it's Simone's fault. I think she's just pleading with Simone to help it stop. Because Simone does have that power.
Yeah, Simone's the only one that will get these morons to listen to her.
She does think it's Simone's fault because early in that statement that she made, she said, well, I reached out to Simone and Simone said that she was proud of me and all this stuff. But then this happened and I just don't know what went wrong. And I know what went wrong. You were bad-mouthing her teammates. That's what went wrong, girl. That's what went wrong. It doesn't justify a death threat, but you're what went wrong here.
Sure, yeah. And I think she knows that.
And it's going to blow over.
Yeah, but Simone could help it blow over quickly.
I guess you're right.
All.
I guess you're right.
And again, no blame on Simone. None.
These people just blindly follow people, and because again, they think that
it's like the Swifties, man.
Right, exactly.
Say something about Taylor Swift and watch them go insane.
Exactly. You can't say Taylor Swift's most recent album is garbage, even though it is, because, oh my God.
Right. You'll get death threats.
Right.
From an 8-year-old.
Right. Don't piss off Swift Nation. Yeah. Taylor Swift is God. She does nothing wrong. Yeah, she does. Sorry. Last time I checked, she's done many concerts, made millions of dollars, but she's not walking on water anytime soon. Without the help of CGI.
Right. All right, guys. Those are your 3 things.